I'm back, ladies and gentlemen, Lounging with Lisa, the video series that has me lounging while coming at you with thoughts of the day. Here's part 2. Mind you, I'm looking at this for the first time, too. Isn't that exciting? Let's see if I can get a grip here.
In the White House.
Okay, Pastor Jeffers, you cited Romans 13, but when you look at Romans 12, as you know, it is do not repay evil for evil. And so some would say that flies in the face of the argument you just made.
And some would say, why are we listening to the Bible
Steve,
for our
Paul
foreign
wasn't
policy?
Schizophrenic. He knew what he was writing. In Romans 12, he was talking about our interpersonal relationships. Okay. We are to forgive. We are to turn the other cheek. Romans 13, the next chapter, deals with government, and the Bible never commands government to turn the other cheek or to forgive.
All right, Father Jonathan, what do you think?
Well, I think anytime you take, first of all, I should...
Okay, here's what I think so far. How do we know that the book of Romans is true? Has anybody bothered to investigate that? Or certainly they have, right, ladies and gentlemen? I mean, we can't just be basing our entire philosophy on life on something we don't even know if it's true or not, right?
I should say that I agree with so many things that Pastor Jeffers says on other issues. For sure, we agree on many things. But as soon as you take one particular biblical passage and you use that as a justification for a very particular and complex political policy, and especially a military policy, I think you're making a big mistake. When Solomon asked God for wisdom, it's because political leaders and kings need wisdom, and things aren't so simple. And what President Trump needs is real wisdom and advice, and not a suggestion that he is justified in doing whatever he wants just because he has been given civil authority. And it's very, very dangerous, in my opinion, to tell him or to tell any political leader, because you have the authority, doesn't somehow means that you don't have the obligation to be very wise and to be very prudent in your decisions. War is always a total failure of the human family. It doesn't mean that sometimes violence is not necessary to stop evil.
Okay.
But as soon as you say you're justified in doing whatever you want, I think we've made a big mistake.
All right, pass.
Okay, as I said in the first video, this Father Jonathan, I've always, I guess, he's okay to me on certain issues. I mean, I don't know. I think he really takes the time to think about this and to explain, why things are right or wrong. Not so quick with his trigger finger, but here's the basic difference between these two different religions, this different sects of Christianity, which I mentioned before. There's, I think, 30,000 of those different sects. Is that the gentleman on the left, Jeffries, the deeply closeted man, I'm quite sure, this is a part of his, the end time game for them, his particular dogma that has the need for basically a World War III, what some might call an Armageddon scenario, in order to usher in the second coming of Christ. Whereas your basic Catholics don't really get into this dispensationalism type of narrative. Okay, moving on back to him.
Pastor, I think you've got a counterpoint.
Well, I do think that President Trump is seeking God's wisdom on this. I have found him in the last 2 years to be a very measured leader. And I have great respect for my friend Father Jonathan. But I have to say this, I am glad that Americans did not listen to Christian pacifists during the Second World War when Adolf Hitler was marching toward world domination, or today would all be speaking German and saying Heil.
Here we go, fear porn, fear porn. World War II is always brought into it, and this whole thing of we'd all be speaking German. Do they really know that? Come on.
Hitler. I mean, the fact is, war is never preferable. It's never the first preference. But sometimes you have to stand up and confront evil to defeat evil.
I agree with you completely,
Pastor
Jeffers. I agree with you on that. But what you said, I think, went a little bit further. You said because he has the moral authority to make political decisions, therefore he is justified in taking out the leader of North Korea. That's a very particular circumstance. It's a very particular...
Yes, it is. It is. Father Jonathan is correct here, in my opinion. It is a very particular circumstance, not to mention, we really don't know what's going on over there. Like I said, just keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that it benefits the military-industrial complex for us to do war-type behavior. Many people who are in charge, in terms of the corporate overlords of the military-industrial complex, various outlets, also own the media, and so the media is going to be wanting to march, us in that direction. It's just the same playbook over and over and over again. I really hope people are awakening to this. I really do.
That's
Political
to protect
situation.
American lives, yes, he does.
Right, but we can't say that he is justified immediately. He needs wisdom and prudence to know when it's necessary, and not to. I think we need to be a little bit more nuanced and helping him make those
Nuance
decisions.
is a good word.
Well, there certainly is a lot of soul
Father
searching
Jonathan,
going
I think he
on.
is seeking that.
Okay, I don't doubt that he is.
All right, and keep in mind,
I
it was
think he is.
George W. Bush himself, when he was president, said many times that he looked to God for guidance whenever he sent American troops into harm's way. All right, great chat this morning.
Okay, that's the end of that, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, of course, George W. Bush also got direct orders from his particular God. So, we're running foreign policy based on what these people are hearing in their minds. In any other circumstance, that would be called some sort of mental disorder. When you're hearing voices in your head telling you what to do, ladies and gentlemen, in any other societal situation, that would be considered to be insane. You can't go into a court of a law and say, oh, well, God told me to kill my children. But it's okay when it's a president in wartime. This is insane. This is why we need a firm separation between church and state. And honest to Pete, I can't get over this. Like I said, I'm watching this with you for the first time. Give me your thoughts, feelings, and emotions below. Lounging with Lisa, the video series that has me lounging while coming at you with thoughts of the day. Please join together with me. Drop your political identity so that we can focus on issues and maybe make this world a better place.